Roblox is getting pretty boring right now, and it's not just me who feels that way. There's been several viral videos, tweets, posts, and whatever about this recently, and a large majority of players feel this way. But why? For a game with seemingly endless possibilities, how can it get boring? Well, let's break that all down. So just recently, KreekCraft made a video talking about this topic, and it actually went pretty popular because a lot of people feel this way. And the point he brought up in his video is actually pretty interesting. He mentioned how him and a lot of other players feel like they've played every single game on the platform, which obviously makes no sense because there's millions of games on Roblox, but a lot of people feel this way for a very specific reason. If you go to the most popular games right now, you're gonna sense a trend. There are some unique games obviously, but you kind of see that a lot of games are just copying each other. And especially now recently, what's been going on is that when a game is popular, a lot of people just steal the entire concept of the game, recreate it, add maybe a few more mechanics, and then it gets popular as well because they're following this trend. And it starts a cycle of just repeating games over and over again, and then they take over the front page. So if you go to the front page, it's just copies of games over and over again, and nothing feels fresh anymore. Like for example, all the roleplay games kind of have the same theme, and they all kind of copy off each other. Blade Ball has a bunch of copies that are going pretty popular right now. And also another problem with that is when a game copies another game, they usually add a few mechanics, and then if those mechanics end up being popular, the original game just steals them as well. So right now in Roblox, there's a never-ending loop of just, people stealing other games, re-uploading games, trying to make their own versions of it, and that kind of leaves like Roblox pretty stale just right off the bat. Because right now, for example, like Blade Ball is blowing up, and if you want to find other games in your recommended, it's just going to be a bunch of Blade Ball copies, and if you find any other popular games, there's a chance you're just going to keep finding more copies of it as well. And this kind of cycle and theme that's been going on recently has kind of made Roblox feel so stale, because it's harder to find new and fresh games where everything's just the same and everyone's just copying each other. And it's not only just that, like there's obviously so much good Roblox games made. However, Roblox's poor suggestion system and search system makes these games harder to find. Not to mention how they also promote some insane games every once in a while. And right now, Roblox doesn't really award creativity, they just award what's doing well. That's why it's harder to find good games. Because with Roblox's search system, they just keep recommending you what's popular. And this sort of trend on the platform where people just copy each other and it's this whole back and forth between popular games makes the whole front page just feel kind of dry because you feel like you played everything since they're all just copies of each other. And it's not only just that, like simulators for example have this kind of weird trend going on. There's this video here made by Pyrus and he kind of went over the same thing. And if you look at his thumbnail, he has a good point. All these simulators look so similar and they're all by different people, but since it's like a trend and these thumbnails work, a lot of people just copy the same style and do it over and over again, and that also leaves a platform feeling kind of stale because all these simulators are just copies of each other and copying the same style and everything. And a lot of these games sometimes are just low effort games that they don't put much effort into, and all they really want to do is just get money. So the games aren't really that good, but they get popular just because they kept getting promoted and stuff. And overall, the fact that a lot of people just copy from each other now, and even like the styles of the game and games themselves, in combination with Roblox's like poor recommendation system, Roblox just feels kind of stale because you're just kind of playing copies of everything over and over again. And it's not only just that. If we look outside of Roblox, right now they're having a lot of competition. I saw this tweet from Mr. Bouchard recently saying, "I generally think that Fortnite is going to be a huge competitor to Roblox soon. They just launched LEGO Survival Mode today, and within 48 hours, Rocket Racing plus Fortnite Festival will release. Who knows what other games they have planned. Fortnite has the smartest takeover plan ever. Everyone's going to find enjoyment in something." So yeah, with heavy competition from other games and other popular games, Roblox is finding it harder to keep up, because right now if people think Roblox is boring, they're not just going to stay on Roblox, they're going to go find stuff that's more entertaining to them. And if Roblox's biggest competitors are adding more insane stuff, people are less inclined to play Roblox now. Because right now, Roblox just feels super stale because of everything going on, but their competitors don't feel stale because they're adding a bunch of insane stuff. So Roblox is kind of fighting a losing battle right now. So with all that combined, Roblox is kind of just at like this stale point. Games are all copying each other, so nothing feels fresh. And then to make it worse, if you want to find a new good game, Roblox's discovery page and recommendation feature is just awful. Like for example, if you go on YouTube right now and you watch a bunch of Roblox content, YouTube recognizes that and they'll keep giving you Roblox content. But on Roblox, if you play stuff like Piggy or stuff, they're not going to keep recommending you Piggy games because Roblox just doesn't understand that. They're going to keep recommending you whatever's popular. And well, as you can guess, what's popular is just copies. So it's this never-ending cycle of just never finding new and fresh games. And once you do find a new and fresh game, it's probably just a copy of another popular game. And right now, this kind of cycle on Roblox is kind of killing the platform because although the games do well, they get boring over time for a majority of people. And also, not to mention, another factor you have to take in mind is that a lot of these games don't have replayability often, and I feel like that's sometimes on purpose, especially with the simulator game trends where they all have like those same thumbnails and stuff. And even with the copy games, a lot of these games pop up for a little bit, you know, are active, you know, while the game's doing well, but they don't care enough about the game to constantly update it, have replayability, because a lot of these games just pop up to be a cash grab. Some of them are obviously more well polished and put together, but especially with the simulator games and how they all copy each other, most of them are just quick cash grabs and they don't actually care about the game. So when people get bored of it and it lacks replayability, they probably don't care enough to add more updates and stuff and keep updating the game because it's just a cash grab and they got what they wanted from the game, which also, you know, makes everything feel more stale. Because if games are just made like that, then everything is kind of lacking replayability as a whole. And then that in combination with obviously, you know, everything copying each other and everything else I mentioned in this video, Roblox just feels super stale and dry. And that's why people probably still play these games and they do well, but over time, people just get this feeling of Roblox is getting boring and they kind of fall out of love with the game. And in general, Roblox is suffering from that. And also, I'm not trying to hate on any game and like the copies or whatever, because a lot of times they do add their own stuff, but it just makes Roblox feel more stale. I have nothing against the actual games or whatever, like they can do whatever they want, and I know why they do it. It obviously makes a bunch of money, but besides that, it does make Roblox feel boring. Now with that all being said and with that all out of the way, I kind of want to end this video by looking at, is this problem going to be fixed in the future? And like obviously there's a chance it might be, but I actually have a feeling it might not be, and for one specific reason. Roblox recently just announced Roblox Assistant, now available in Studio, and if you're wondering what that is, it's basically ChatGPT but for Roblox Studio, and it's a completely AI thing, so you can ask it anything and it'll help you develop a Roblox game. You can ask it how to code stuff, how to make specific games, how to model stuff, which is pretty cool, and this feature would obviously help, you know, developers who are less experienced get more experience. However, with that being said, I think you can see what I'm gonna go with this. This feature can easily just be used to keep replicating games over and over again, and now people who don't have much experience can probably do the exact same thing that popular games are doing right now, just replicating popular games and re-uploading them. And already, Roblox is a pretty big creativity issue right now, and everything kind of lacks creativity or originality. And this is only going to make it worse because a lot of people are probably going to use this feature to not make their own unique games, but to rather copy other games and other popular games. And this feature, although it is pretty good, I feel like it's going to end up being pretty bad for the platform because it's just going to make all the stuff I mentioned get even worse. Because now, anyone without experience can probably develop a decent game with the help of this, and they can probably just copy other popular games and make their own like version of popular games with this. And with that all being said, Roblox is kind of in this never-ending cycle of just kind of feeling dry because of this. And every once in a while the cycle breaks because a popular game releases, but after a few months that popular game just gets replicated and the cycle starts again. And unfortunately this has been going on for so long now, and it seems like it's never going to end, especially with features like this being released. Let me know what you guys think though. Is Roblox getting boring, or do you actually think it's not bad? Let me know, and if you enjoyed, check this video. Roblox is actually in huge trouble right now. I'll see you in the next one.